So the Blackmagic Cloud Store Mini is a lot like the other products in the lineup from Blackmagic when it comes to network attached storage. This is a whole new realm of storage devices that Blackmagic is now getting into because trying to make it simpler for people to work remotely and really taking advantage of the Blackmagic Cloud. And now I know it's kind of confusing, Blackmagic Cloud Store Mini and Blackmagic Cloud. What's the difference? They're very different. One is just a subscription-based platform, the Blackmagic Cloud, and that allows you to take your project library and have it hosted by them. So then you can easily invite people into and work collaboratively on the same project. The problem that you come up with once you start using that is that you need to get your media to the other people that are working alongside with you with your edit or color grading or whatever it may be within DaVinci Resolve. So how do we do that? Well, we can use obviously all the different tools that are out there for sharing files on the internet, but making it as simple as possible was what it seems like they were going for with this whole new line of project, the Blackmagic Cloud Stores and the Blackmagic Cloud Pod. And so what's the difference between them? The biggest difference is going to be the amount of storage. That's going to kind of be the biggest thing. And then connectivity. So what kind of ports do each one of them have? If you've never heard of any of these, the Blackmagic Cloud Store Mini that we're talking about today is just a network attached storage device. Everyone on the network can have access to. This is great for if you are working in one location, you have multiple people, you put the files on this device, and then it's just like a drive that everyone can access and work off of. It just works like a network device. It's just stripped down for speed and ease of use. Already comes with SSDs that are in a RAID 0, which for most people, it doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, the read and write speeds are going to be up to 1 gigabyte per second. So it's 10 gigabits, which is equal to 1 gigabyte per second. Going to the syncing of the device, currently it is Dropbox and Google Drive. They did say that in the future they are going to bring on others. My guess is going to be like Azure, the Microsoft side of things, and then Amazon, possibly S3. We'll see where that goes, but those are just suggestions, or those are just ideas now at this point. They haven't stated anything else besides the ones that are currently available. The one big difference between Google Drive and Dropbox is when you go to share things between, let's say, a Dropbox account. So if I have a bunch of files and I share those files with you, from the looks of it, if I share that 500 gigs with you, it also consumes 500 gigs of your available space on your account. As far as Google Drive goes, it doesn't. If I'm the owner of the files, I share those files with you. They only take away from my 500 gigs, and it doesn't use anything on yours because I am the owner of them. The reason why I'm thinking of this is, let's say you have multiple customers that you're just the editor for. You can have all of them put stuff into their Drive accounts, then share that folder with you. And you don't need to have an extremely large Drive account to be able to have this whole ecosystem work. If you were on Dropbox, you would have to have, the match all of your customers and the amount of data that they are sharing with you. I wanted to see if there was any difference, and it seemed like that was the biggest difference. Outside of that, they both work exactly the same. If you do work with the Google side of when it comes to like business accounts, there is something that you can do within those accounts, which is referred to as a shared drive. The shared drive currently isn't implemented within the syncing ability of the Blackmagic storage devices. So if you do use that side of things when it comes to Google, you can't. But what you can do is you can take that shared drive folder and you can share it to the account, I believe. As far as the video side of things, when you install the Blackmagic Store software on your computer, it also includes the Proxy Generator Lite. So that will allow you to take any raw files that you have, or just files that DaVinci Resolve can also read. You can take those files and it will convert them into proxy files. And then those proxy files, if they're on your Google storage, your Blackmagic storage device, you can have it just sync those files if you're going to just like an editor. Obviously, if you're going to a colorist, you want to have them to have the camera original files. but you do have the ability, if you are on a constraint when it comes to bandwidth speeds and uploading files, you could set it so that it only uploads the proxy files. So that was really nice to see in there. When it comes to ports, you're going to have the HDMI cable, allows you to see what the system is doing currently. So how many people are connected through the network? Is someone connected in through the USB? If it's downloading stuff from the internet for the different syncing, you're going to have two USB-C ports, one on the back, one on the front, and you're going to have a 10 gigabit link and a 1 gigabit link. So you have some flexibility there. One cool thing that I did like is if you currently do not have the infrastructure for 10 gig, like you don't have a network card that's 10 gig in your system, or you don't have a network switch that's 10 gig, you don't have any of that. With this device, you can actually plug into it over USB-C to your system, and you can still connect to it relatively fast. Simplicity is the big thing here, so you can't make new credentials currently. I don't know if that's something that will change in the future, but currently it's just guess as the username, guess as the password. If you're in a small environment, that really shouldn't be an issue, but that is a thing that is currently, I see it as a limitation. Some people might see it as a benefit, so you don't have to deal with credentials and potentially getting people confused. As far as when you get into the syncing, so you can pick locations to sync from. So like on the cloud provider, you can pick a location, and then on the device itself, you can say, I want it to go into this folder. And then you can pick multiples. So if you're on, let's say your Google Drive, you have a multiple clients that have all Google Drive accounts and they're sharing you shared folders. You can pick all of those different shared folders and have them go to different folders on your Blackmagic cloud storage device. Where do I see a device like this actually being used for people? So the big thing that I thought would be the biggest use case is I made a whole video on this, but sending these to people so that they would have a way that would automatically link up, especially for like the 8 gig. You could put a whole show on there, so like one whole episode, and then have someone edit that. As far as, let's say, normal day-to-day for people that aren't really working on large projects like that, but might be working on weddings or YouTubes or something like that, and you're the editor, one cool thing that I like about this is you can just have this plugged in. It uses almost no power. You can have it always connected to the internet. So if someone, one of your clients has like a wedding that they just finished, they then upload it to their Google Drive or Dropbox account. And then, once you come back, you just hook up your laptop, or if you're on Wi-Fi, you just look at it on your Wi-Fi connection, and you already have those files local, and you don't have to sit there and wait for them to download before you actually start working. So I thought that would be like a great use case, is not having to wait for things to download because they will automatically already be at your facility and ready for you to go. Obviously, the other one with it being a network device is if you're working with multiple people in one location, everyone has access to this. And so you can, work with multiple people, and it's simple. So if you were to get a Synology, a QNAS, or a device that I use, which is called TrueNAS, or you have to go through all the steps to set it up. This is just, you plug it in and you just start up the program, and then you just log in and you're already good to go. And there isn't like credentials or dealing with any of that, especially for the people that are just creatives and they don't like all of the tech stuff. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's just a storage device that goes on your network, and it has the ability to sync with other third-party providers. Now, don't get me wrong, the QNAPs, the Synologies, the TrueNASs of the world can also do that. They definitely can. But where this shines is its form factor. If you want to have this sit on your desk, it's small compared to a lot of those other devices that are a little bit bigger, a little bit louder, a little bit heavier. It really comes down to, do you like the form factor? Do you like its, simplicity? The ability to travel with it, like that, I always seen like something that was nice. My storage solution, there is no traveling with that, so I just have to take a external hard drive if that is ever a thing. I could just take one of these and do the same exact thing, but then have the speed, flexibility that these also have as well, and then the ability to also sync. So just a couple of different use cases. I'm guessing that there's going to be a plethora of different use cases that people will come up with. But a little bit of how this device works. Again, it's a networked storage device. In this case, it's a very simplified one that is fast. and what it says it can do, and it can do relatively well. We'll see where the future comes with, iterations on the software and features that get added into it. It would be really cool to see this directly integrated into DaVinci Resolve and different processes that DaVinci Resolve might have in the future. I would also like to see something like this, maybe have like an ASICs chip in it so that it would be able to automatically create your proxies for you. I think that would be pretty cool. So someone could just ingest into this and then, let it go. And over the course of a little bit of time, it would then start to be able to spit out proxy files and automatically upload those. I think that would be cool. Currently, it can't do that, but the software does come with the Proxy Generator Lite, so that's, get you in the right direction. If you do have DaVinci Resolve Studio, you do get the full Proxy Generator, which has a couple more features in it. So that's pretty much it. I am going to be coming out with a video in a little bit going over working with an environment that already has like a QNAP, a Synology, and I'm going to be using TrueNAS to show that. So I already have the big storage device that has redundancy and it backs up to multiple locations, but how, if I was working with a team, could I also use one of these to have them work together? So I'm going to be working on a video to showcase that, and it might give you a little bit more of, or give you a couple more ideas on how to actually use these. Because if you're anything like me and you already had these other storage devices, you kind of look at this and you're like, okay, why do I need that then? And so that's why I'll be making that video. And once I make it, though, if this is in the future, there should be a link in the description pointing to that video. But until then, my name's Justin. Thank you so much for watching. If you are interested in learning more about DaVinci Resolve, that's mainly what this channel is about, and Fusion and motion graphics and stuff like that, take a look at the channel. I also have a whole website dedicated. I think we're right around 500 blog posts going over everything you could possibly think of in DaVinci Resolve. If you're interested in getting certified in DaVinci Resolve, I am also a certified trainer and a training partner for Blackmagic Design. So take a look at the website that is in the description as well. And I also have a bunch of other stuff there. I'm just going to stop ranting at this point, but yeah, take a look at that stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Until the next one, guys. Peace.